Good morning, head racers. Sit down, get yourself a cup of tea, and let's talk about how we ended up where we are with what's in front of you. Let's start with a couple of slow-mos of this 2005 Honda CBR 1000 RR. This is a RR5 model, which is identical to the RR4, so it's Gen 1 of the under-seat exhaust models. Put your feet up and let's have a chat while you enjoy some slow-mos. Well, I hope you enjoyed those, and I hope that showed you a little bit about the condition this RR5 is in. It's borderline immaculate, it's very, very tidy. It is completely standard, other than the Arrow GP replica exhaust system. Although it's got the kite marks on it and it's got the E5 marks on it, I'm not completely sure that it's going to pass any track day noise regs, but we'll come to that when we do the riding video. Okay, how did I end up getting this then? I mentioned in my last video that the Ducati V4 was an option, and that is very likely the way I'm going to go. I've been working with Ducati for a couple of weeks on a deal involving both my ZZRs, the 600 and the 1100. And it became very quickly that as a main dealer they weren't hugely interested in taking the ZZRs on at a sensible price. So I did a lot of digging round. I found out there's a couple of local dealers near me that were very interested in the ZZRs and actually gave me a couple of really good prices on them. So I had a deal in principle with Ducati on the V4. The V4, the standard V4, not the S model, and that's what's going to happen in the summer in May time. But the prices I was getting on the ZZRs wasn't good enough, so I chopped out the two ZZRs, 600 and 1100. They've gone, and I used the excellent PX value I got for those to pick up this RR5, and then in May time this will be going to make up quite a significant deposit for the Ducati V4. So it's only going to be a short-term relationship, this one. I've only had it 3 days, and I have to say I'm absolutely blown away with it. I have had a couple of fire blades before, and I'll just do a quick walk around video and show you what sort of condition this is in and why I paid top money for it. As you can see, the wheels are in fantastic condition, very little signs of damage from tyres going on and off. It's got Bridgestone T31s, which are not my favourite tyre, to be honest with you. I find they don't provide a lot of feedback. They're a sports touring tyre and they feel quite remote. I've had them on a couple of bikes now, mainly because they're a good price, and I understand why. They last a long time, they're okay, but certainly when you compare it to something like S22s, T31s have a very remote feel to them, although the grip is essentially very good. Standard Honda discs, very minimum wear. It's got brand new pads in it, which was done for the MOT. As you can see, the fork lowers are in amazing condition. It has got red braided lines, which are They're okay, not to my particular taste, but I can see why the previous owner's done it. It's got a guard on the oil cooler section of the radiator. Actually no, it's not a oil cooler radiator on these, the oil cooler separate plugged into the cooling system on these, so it's just a water radiator. Not in bad condition at all, the forks are excellent. Hardly any marks at all on the fairing itself. A couple of marks on the mirror ends there, very, very normal. This one has still got the HESD on it, which is excellent. And there's your dash. When you're really sad like me, you get impressed with very small things, and the speed of reaction on the tacho needle is absolutely fantastic. It's so instant, and that sort of thing really caught my attention on it. It's got a gear indicator as well. It's too bright for me, it does annoy me to be honest with you. But it's okay, it's a Heeltech one, so it's a decent one. All the fork adjusters and that are in fantastic condition. The plastics and the bodywork are, I'm going to say, exceptional for the age of the bike. And as you can see, the headers are all in excellent condition. It's a spring mount system, it's a full system. There's the oil cooler down there, which runs off the cooling system. Engine covers, completely unmarked really. It's got a couple of tacky bits of carbon. Morning there guys, some follow guys on their bikes out there. Morning guys, there they go, enjoying themselves, look. Morning guys. Rear plastics, a couple of tiny little marks on there. Come on gimbal, catch up, there you go. Just from things like, probably where the cover's been on it, on the back there. And it's got these rather natty chain adjusters. The idea behind them is that for a quick wheel removal, it stops you losing alignment. I can't say it's a massive problem really in the real world, but they're on there anyway. The chain is okay, it's not fantastic. I wouldn't bother changing it out, but it's clearly been dry at some point. It's got a little bit of rust on there. The shock is a bit hard to see on these. It's kind of buried within the spring arm itself. It's a weird setup. Let's see if we can get underneath it and set in there. The suspension's absolutely incredible. I'll come to the reason why that is in a minute. And again, there's hardly any marks at all on this side. It is absolutely in remarkable condition. R&G bearings, which is neither here nor there. Standard indicators, which is always nice. Okay, so the major plus point to this bike is it's only got 14,000 miles on it. And while it's not an issue for the life of the engine, these engines will clock many times over with basic servicing. It just comes to resale value, and as any of my friends would let you know, mileage doesn't bother me at all. I like a few miles on a bike, it's a sign of a good engine. But when it does come to resale, unfortunately, it is a factor, and it's one of the reasons I paid what I did for this one, because the mileage is so very low. It's got 14,000 on it, and I paid 4,750. It was a nice Mustang over there. There guys, nice Mustang. Someone enjoying a Mustang this morning? So when it comes to resale time, against that Ducati V4, I'm not expecting a huge loss on this one. Something else it's also got is it's got the rear master cylinder delete. As you can see, it's got this little bit of hose there to plug in the top. To be honest, I quite like those, and I tend to convert my bikes that I use on track to those anyway. In the real world it makes no difference, but it looks pretty cool, and people like to do it. So technical specs of these then, very easy to find on the internet, but I'll give you a quick run through. Obviously 43mm upside down forks, I believe they're 43s. Everything's adjustable. Compression, rebound, preload obviously, it's all done. Right, it's very lovely looking adjusters here. And the fork lowers are in remarkable condition on this, I must say. And there's the adjusters at the top. Again, minimal signs of someone playing around with them. They're in actually really good condition. Rear shock again, fully adjustable. It's called Unipro Link or something on these. Yeah, Unipro Link, I thought it was something like that. Essentially the shock itself lives inside the swing arm, which is a slightly unusual design. As you can see there, look, the swing arm doesn't really mount to the frame like most bikes. It essentially mounts to inboard of the swing arm, and linkage underneath links it to the frame. It's a really weird system actually, but it's fantastic. 170-ish horsepower, probably. It's too much for the road, that much I will say. Compared to modern sports bikes, which are well over 200. If you can feel the difference on the road, great, good luck to you. 170 is more than enough for the road. Torque, yes, again, more than enough. I would dig out the numbers and stuff for you, but to be honest with you, everyone, it doesn't make a huge difference on the road. It's too much. There's so much on there, or so much in there more accurately. Just been serviced as well, so there's oil and filter, probably a bit of tyre kicking as well gone on by the dealer. As you can see, a couple bits of nutty carbon on there as well, which wouldn't be to my particular taste. So I'm not going too mad with the technicals on this one, guys, mainly because you can just dive into anywhere on Google and find out all the technical specs, but I just wanted to give you a walk around the bike and show you this is an exceptional one. A lot of these do get a hard life, and it was quite a difficult decision to part with the ZZRs, and this is what's going to surprise you, I think. The 1100, I was fairly happy to let that go. As I discussed in my video when I first introduced you to the 11, it was touch and go whether I was going to keep it for a number of reasons, and I bought it for a reason, which is to access a Ducati V4. It's a really long, complicated story. The 600 I was really sad to see go. Really sad, actually. Mainly because it was such a bloody good bike. It did everything exceptionally well, and it was in fantastic condition. It cost peanuts to run. It was lovely to ride, and I ended up using it a lot. So it was quite a tough decision to let the 600 go. But needs must, as the devil drives, as the old saying goes. So May next year, that's when the whole Ducati V4 thing is going to happen, and this is a step on the ladder to that. I've still got the Cross Tourer. The Cross Tourer is not going to go anywhere. I've still got my ZXR 750H 1.5 as well. Why it's an H1.5, guys, they're a very, very small production run, the H1.5. As the name indicates, they sit between the 1 and the 2. You won't find a lot of information about them, the H1.5s, but they are a thing, and they are real. I'll have one in the garage. So there you go, guys, just a very short video on this one, just to give you a little walk around, give you an update. I will do an onboard on this one. You won't be able to hear much because of the exhaust. It's good to speak to you again, guys. It's been a little while. I hope you enjoyed the video, and speak again soon. Thanks, Em.